2 minutes and 30 seconds. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's the average amount of time that someone spends watching one of my guitar lesson videos on YouTube after I have made 137 different videos on this channel. Now, you could say that the reason for this is because, well, my videos are just not good enough and not entertaining enough for people to want to watch them for longer than 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And while I've had some videos that have a higher view duration than that, this is starting to indicate a bit of a problem with learning guitar on YouTube and possibly online in general. Now, 2 minutes and 30 seconds is a super short amount of time, and you really can't learn that much in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, one of the things that I've also done on this channel is make what's called YouTube Shorts, which you are all probably familiar with. They're very, very short videos that are a minute or less in length. And I also post a lot of those on TikTok and on Instagram because this seems to be the direction that the internet is sort of going in general for content. And it seems to be creating a problem with people's ability to improve at things. In the shorts that I've made, while I also feel that you actually can get a lot done in a short amount of time and that you can actually learn about a new concept in a minute or maybe 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you can't actually learn how to do something in that short of amount of time. And to me, the primary purpose of these short types of videos where you only spend one measly minute of your life watching them is basically to inspire you to look into a new concept and dig a little bit deeper on your own, or maybe go ahead and find a longer video so you can actually learn how to do the things that are being talked about in these short videos. Now, like I said, you can learn of a new idea. For example, one of the shorts I've made is called Every Jazz Guitar Chord You Need to Know in 1 Minute. And while it actually didn't quite cover every single last chord that you need to know in 1 minute, it definitely covered a lot of them. And the problem with this, though, is that if someone wanted to actually sit down and practice these chords, it's going to take them a lot longer than a minute to actually go through them, pause the video, work out each of the chords, work out the notes in the chords, work out how those chords work, be able to use them in a chord progression. These things take time. And I'm afraid that this whole idea of, oh my God, I need to learn everything in 1 minute or 2 minutes and a half or less is really becoming a huge problem for people's expectations when they're learning how to do something, especially learning how to play guitar. These things take time. Guitar is a super duper complicated task, and you can't just learn how to do something super advanced in 2.5 minutes. You can't even learn how to do it really well in a whole entire 20 minutes, right? These things take time, and while you can get the concept into your head and get that inspiration, for you to actually be able to use a new concept and have it become a part of you as a musician, it is directly linked to the amount of time that you spend doing that thing. The amount of time that you spend playing those chords, the amount of time that you spend improvising, the amount of time that you spend working out a chord progression and how to solo over it, the amount of time you spend learning a new song. These things cannot be done instantly. They can't even be done quickly. Even if you have 8 hours a day to practice, you will still take months and months and months to be able to really, really, really add a new concept to yourself as a musician. And as part of this discussion we're having, I want to ask you, can you think of any really, really challenging skill or really, really complicated task that you've ever encountered in your entire life that you were able to get extremely good at nearly instantly or even very quickly? I personally can't think of one. I mean, even think about learning how to read and write, things that we take for granted. These things take years and years to develop as children, and the only reason that we can do them without thinking about it as adults is because of the sheer amount of time that is spent working on these different subjects and skills. So this brings me to my next point. I think that the main problem with learning guitar on YouTube is that it is far too distracting of an environment, and it actually runs counter to the concepts that you need to have in your mind when doing something like practicing guitar. On YouTube, if you don't like what you're doing, or you get even the slightest bit bored by whatever video you're watching, you just simply hit one button and now you go to some other video that's gonna give you a dopamine rush and entertain you a little bit. And that's not going to work for learning guitar, period. It will not work. Guitar and music in general, and any complicated skill in general, requires you to get into a state of deep focus to really implement and retain the information. Again, the key is retaining the information. It's one thing to learn something really quick, but then you'll forget about it after a week and you'll never actually be able to use it. It's another thing to retain a piece of information in your mind for an extended period of time and make it become a visceral part of you. And of course, funny enough, the metric of the average view duration is also referred to as audience retention. So the amount that you can retain your attention on a certain topic is directly linked to the amount you can actually retain it in your mind and be able to use it. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, I don't want to make this video all negative. Let's talk about how you can use YouTube in a really, really good and productive way to accelerate your process of learning. I call it the cycle of learning. And the cycle is being inspired by a new idea and then taking action and focus on that new idea for an extended period of time, and then coming back to be re-inspired. It's the cycle of inspiration, then action. Inspiration, action. Inspiration, action. So when you go on YouTube, it's great to watch all these guitar videos and get inspired, but what do you actually do about it after you get inspired? Do you just forget about the video that you watch? Do you click off the video and just go watch something that's mindless and just decide that you want to be entertained instead of actually learn something? Or do you get inspired and then actually go sit down for 30 minutes or an hour and practice the concept that you learned? Or even better yet, do you sit down now every day for the next 2 weeks or the next month, really ingraining that concept? So again, all of the stuff that you watch on YouTube is completely meaningless unless you take action on it, unless you do the work, unless you focus your attention on inserting that information and that knowledge into your own mind. It's going to be useless if you don't do that. So keep that in mind the next time you're going on YouTube and you're saying, I want to watch a guitar lesson video. Think to yourself, am I actually going to focus on this? And am I actually going to take action on it? To be honest, even though I kind of like making these short videos and I do think that they can be useful for the inspiration, I'm not sure I want to continue to cater to this idea of, oh my God, I gotta have everything instantly or else I'm gonna go, oh, I need to click off the video and I need to go do something else. I want to have a conversation and a deep dive into the things that really matter on the guitar in this channel, and that's what I'm going to do. And if you want to stick around for that, great. If you don't want to stick around for that, that's also great too. But I want to keep this conversation going. Please let me know down in the comments, what's your opinion on this whole issue of people's attention span just going down, and now it's starting to, quite frankly, infect the guitar community. I mean, we're guitar players, guys. We have an advanced skill that most people don't even come close to being able to achieve. So why are we allowing this kind of thing to affect us? We should not be falling trapped to these dopamine hits of quick information and quick infotainment and quick entertainment. No, we should be deep diving and focusing on ourselves and improving every single day. And if you really want to start to focus on improving your playing, make sure you head on over to Jamsville.com and check out one of my free guitar ebook resources on chords and soloing. And remember, you're not going to be able to do anything with them in 2.5 minutes. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take a little bit more time than that. But I promise, at the end of it, you're going to be very, very happy that you took that time, and you're going to feel good about yourself, and you're going to feel better about your guitar playing. All right, everybody, until next time, listen, learn, and jam.